Morning, everybody. I'm delighted to welcome you to today's webinar about logistics and real estate markets in Uzbekistan. My name is Charles McCloy, and I'll be your host and moderator today. By way of a background, I work at real estate company CBRE, in which I specialise in the real estate market in Uzbekistan and the wider markets of Central Asia. As a way to get started, before our panel discussion, I will provide a short presentation about the logistics market. I'll just share my screen. So hopefully everybody can see this. So initially, what I'll do is I'll assess the features of the country and how this has shaped Uzbekistan's logistics market. First of all, just turn to the first slide. First of all, it's worth noting that Uzbekistan is a double landlocked country and is thereby accessible via land and air only. Of the infrastructure in place, much of it until recently is aging, and this has resulted in a poor transport network, disrupted supply chain, and led to reduced trade in recent years. In turn, it has led to an immature industrial market that has had a lack of development and modernization. However, this issue is not exclusive to Uzbekistan and has been an issue across Central Asia. And as a result, Central Asia is home to some of the least connected economies in the world and some of the highest transport costs as a result. Since the fall of the Soviet Union, little has been modernized, and as a result, the transport networks generally orientate towards Russia rather than other major markets in the region, such as India and China. To illustrate this, in Uzbekistan, of the current railroad, only 10% is electrified, and of which also 0.4% is double tracked. So this really illustrates how far behind it is. However, things are changing, and since the arrival of the new government in 2017, reforms have been underway to modernize the economy and really address this issue. The government has partnered with the Asian Development Bank to help finance projects, infrastructure projects across the country. It has committed over $7 billion since 2019 to improve the transport network. This has resulted in over 400 kilometers of railroad being updated, and likewise over $2 billion committed to build a new highway between Tashkent and Ajan. Elsewhere, Samarkand International Airport opened a new terminal earlier this year at a cost of $80 million. And there are also plans to build a new airport in Tashkent. However, the date is yet to be confirmed. So the question is, how is this reflected in the industrial and logistics market? Generally, it's been characterized by a shortage of new warehousing, and much of the existing stock is approaching the end of its economic life. A large proportion of industrial property in Uzbekistan is used for manufacturing rather than sort of mainstream logistics. However, to stimulate sector growth, the government has successfully created 3 special economic zones in Navoy, Jizakh, and Angren. The industrial zone in Navoy, for example, is next to the airport, which acts as a cargo terminal. It has brought a number of international manufacturers to the area from countries such as for our field, such as Italy, India, and South Korea. In Tashkent, however, if we're looking at Tashkent, the industrial stock is located mainly to the southeast of the city centre, close to the airport. Much of the existing industrial stock is occupied by local businesses with a focus on textile and cotton production, by way of example. I'm going to give you an example of 2 schemes in particular, which have really helped to elevate the quality of the local market. Firstly, Technopark, which was opened in 2019, provides 16 manufacturing facilities for occupiers such as Samsung and Whirlpool. Secondly, we have the Orient Logistics sector, which was developed by Orient Logistics Group. This is a Class A warehouse scheme for 3PL operators, which provides services such as cross-docking, customs handling, and also has a container terminal. In terms of where the market's going and its outlook, government reform through investments in the infrastructure and logistics sector is really helping to unlock growth in Uzbekistan. The World Bank estimates that improvements to the transport network alone could boost GDP by 15% once transport times and costs have been reduced. Further investment in schemes such as Technopark and Navoy is expected, and this will only further stimulate growth and attract other major businesses. In terms, the country's potential is considerable, and improving conditions will really facilitate further economic and real estate market growth. If you would like to know more, please do by means contact me after the session. My details are follows on the screen.